Greetings. This is William Jackson, and I want to say it is with great appreciation and honor to be the keynote speaker at the Learning and Development Africa Conference, speaking on the area of learning and development is key for success across Africa. It is with such an honor and with so much humility that I appreciate being selected as a keynote speaker at this wonderful conference and sharing my ideas and my reflections on learning and development with the integration of so much new technology, but also the value and importance of it across the continent of Africa. And thank you for this phenomenal conference, the Learning and Development Conference in Africa, and just the opportunity to share ideas and thoughts and reflections and wisdom. We have to remember that these are the times to collaborate, cooperate, and connect with each other. And most importantly, to unify, to continue to build Africa to rise to greatness and continued independence and prosperity for the continent. Technological changes are allowing Africa to be a key participant and influence continentally and internationally. Technology is the great tool to be able to be creative, to be innovative, to be thought-provoking, to fill those creative voids that using elements such as AI and other important tools to help magnify the human voice, particularly the African voice. So learning is in the palms of Africans, literally. Using smartphones, tablets, laptops, and desktop computers can incorporate what Africans are doing in education, business, and as a growing number of entrepreneurs. Communities that are separated by borders and boundaries can now be overcome because the challenges of connectivity with technology are being taken away and put in opportunities to collaborate and unify. There are so many developments that are achieved because of the access to software that expands the knowledge, skills, talents, and abilities, the creativity and innovation of Africans across the African continent. The African proverb, only trees don't move, shares that Africans can move into dynamic opportunities to be business owners and entrepreneurs and innovators and educators and creatives and apply their imaginations as never before. In the history of Africa, never before has there been access to so much information. And this information, just imagine if past African scholars were able to have this access, they would be praising technology and teaching the latest technological achievements and advancements for people to study for centuries to come. So it's unfortunate that documentation has been destroyed or hidden about the true African scholars that even Europeans and other people from around the world came to study from centuries ago. Africa is the land of the birth of the human race, whether you want to dispute that or not. But this is where our world once started and continues to grow. The unfortunate part is that countries have returned to reap and rape the continent of its natural resources, from its people to its animals to its plants to its seeds to its minerals, to the benefit of others, and not properly giving Africa its respect. One of the things that we have to understand, as an educator of 33 years in elementary, primary, secondary, and higher education, it's my goal not to just educate students, but to mentor students to achieve their goals and aspirations beyond what they see in themselves and beyond what others see them as Africans. So we must guide the educational and learning process to where Africans see the great potential in them, particularly youth, teens, and young adults. Inside each of us are abilities not yet discovered, not yet matured, to rise inside us and even the imaginations we have in our dreams and visions. Having taught remotely in Nigeria, in Uganda, in South Africa, and Kenya, and other places, the ability to inspire and encourage is important and vital because learning needs to be hands-on. It needs to be project-based. It needs to be applicable to achieving goals. Those goals can be individual, those goals can be collective. But what's important is the ability to empower, inspire African learners to continue to learn. Being in America allows myself and my wife to see the great achievements happening here with technology and traveling, and our chance to teach in Europe, to teach in Central America, to teach in Canada, and remotely to teach across Africa. So I say this with honesty and zeal. Africa, you are surpassing America in many ways. So keep striving, keep pushing forward, and keep educating your youth, teens, and young adults to build Africa into the influencer it once was, raising Africa to prominence and helping Africa to rise to be a global influencer again. Continue to unify, continue to unite, continue to collaborate, continue to coordinate, continue to educate, motivate, inspire, and encourage each other. Use the gifts God has provided each of you to keep Africa free, independent, and growing. I've had the honor and privilege to speak to many youth, teens, and young adults since 2017, either virtually or remotely, which has been a blessing, and shared my knowledge and my experiences of how youth, teens, and young adults can support their African culture by not running away to America or Europe or Canada or Caribbean, but to working to build a powerful and technologically and economically equipped Africa. We must importantly listen to our peers. Listen to the senior men and women outside of the classrooms, not giving in to foreign ideology, but listen to your elders, listen to your seniors. Open your ears to the blessing of knowledge from men and women that have lived rich lives and survived challenges that many others really have not. Do not be quick to run to America, as I said. Don't be quick to run to China, Canada, and other places in Europe, because Africa needs her children to rise and raise Africa to a level of success, elevation that brings blessings and excellence that already challenges other nations. Invest and reinvest in your neighborhoods, your communities, your homes, your states, your regions, and even your governments. No government is perfect, but the goal is to be as close to serving all the people. Remember, no government, no country is above any other country, but a country is judged as from its poorest members and its poorest communities. So each community should be brought up, pulled up, supported, and helped, because that grows the overall community of that particular nation. Former President Barack Obama once stated that African governments are not perfect, but they have a responsibility to serve the people, not just themselves, from the poorest community to the richest. And remember, each nation is judged to be successful not by how many billionaires it has created, but how many people are given educational and career opportunities to save lives and stop poverty from happening. As a business owner myself since 2017 with My Quest to Teach, my companies have sponsored youth, teens, and young adults to attend technology conferences across the African continent. We have basically put our money where our mouth is. We have provided over 600 youth, teens, and young adults to work towards their dreams and aspirations by sponsoring them to attend technology conferences like this year's WordCamp conferences. So from WordCamp Nairobi to WordCamp Lira, to WordCamp Entebbe, to WordCamp Jinja, to WordCamps across the continent, we have sponsored youth, teens, young adults, and teachers as well, their first times attending a technology conference, and we are proud that we have been able to be a blessing to them. But it is important to understand that Africans are already investing in themselves, but more needs to be done. When I say these words, I say them with humility. I am not of the background of a Bill Gates or a Jensen or a Tesla CEO. I'm a retired teacher that sees the benefit in supporting youth, teens, young adults, and led by the Spirit of God to support. So from Nigeria to Uganda, from Uganda to Kenya to South Africa, there are WordCamp conferences waiting to be sponsored. If you can follow the lead of my company, MetaverseWP, and sponsor a youth, teen, and young adult in the future, reach out to the organizers and sponsor children, teens, teachers, and others. Also, the groups that I work with, Africa NFT Metaverse Conference is coming up. Support those initiatives. The U.S. Africa Trade Expo coming in 2025. The opportunities that One Africa Forum based in Johannesburg, South Africa are doing. The works that my wife Aida and I do through the World Metaverse Council and being metaverse educators, and companies like Victory XR and Engage VR that provide metaverse platforms. We are all accountable to helping each other. The Learning and Development Access is building the future of Africa now. Conferences like this are paramount for the growth, development, magnification, and empowerment of Africans across the various regions. Education is the most important weapon that we have to change the world. And we should know this because Nelson Mandela has stated this multiple times. But to change a continent that has significant influences across multiple ecosystems that are present, Africans must learn how to use, how to build, how to create, how to manipulate, how to adopt and adapt technology to their needs. Quoting Chinua Achebe, he has stated, "Until a lion learns how to write, every story will glorify the hunter." In his novel, Things Fall Apart from 1958, it takes a village to inspire the skills of reading for fun, reading for comprehension, and reading to learn the stories of Africa. The comprehension that each of us has allowed us to understand and importantly apply what we have been learning during our lifetime. Learning is not just in the classroom. Learning is out in the community. Learning is in our churches. Learning is in our community centers. Learning is in our conversations with our parents, our grandparents, and our great-grandparents, where we gain their knowledge. There are so many powerful speakers and presenters and motivational speakers at the conference, but yourself individually must take that information and learn how to apply it to your lives and those of your children and your grandchildren. Then share what you learned with others. What good is knowledge? What good is what we gain if you do not share it with your communities and those that would benefit from you as well? Ngugi wa Thiong'o, an author, teacher, playwright, and academic and social activist, has a passion for the growing African mindset, not based on European or American designs, but by having Africans across the continent embrace African history and African language, the culture and the application to strengthen and reinforce African culture and independence. To have studied African history for many years, even though I have not taken this journey or a passage yet to the continent, I want to make sure that as I learn and I study, I do not allow Western influences to create bias and stereotypes and ignorance and influence my mind before I travel to the continent. What I want is to make sure that I bring something with me that is positive and inspirational. My understanding from readings of Thiong'o and Achebe and Shalinka and others shows me that not reading about Africa may mean forgetting one's language, culture, and the beauty of the people. Africa is in me, and I must find it and allow it to come forth and strengthen the bond it has on my mind, spirit, and soul. Africa is in each of us and must stay free, independent, and always rising. We have to remember African language is an expression of relations between people and cultures and religions and men and women that contain the storytelling ability of the ecosystems across Africa. Language has the most important tool in holding the soul partnership that all Africans have. We cannot allow technology to alienate between Africans because the world is open to using technology, unfortunately, to separate us. We cannot allow technology to reinforce strange learnings and strange teachings, as Achebe says about what the British attempted to do. We cannot allow technology to separate our languages across the continent of Africa, as Thianga has stated, that we must not allow that to happen. But we must reinforce the learnings of history, geography, cultural, natural resources, and African human interaction. This elevation of African culture is key and paramount in that the African child is taught to love their cultural roots, the cultural achievements, and the cultural languages. Don't let African children, youth, teens, and young adults lose their way like blacks and others of the African diaspora that have lost their way in America and Europe and around the world. Technology should be used to preserve the languages, the religions, the cultural nuances, and the cultural success stories, and even the challenges. And in closing, the tools that we use your X, or formerly Twitter, use your LinkedIn, use your YouTube, use AI to build and share content, use your WordPress, use your TikTok, and use your Instagram for positive sharing of exchanges to change the narrative that the world has been poisoned about Africa. Connect with MetaverseWP and My Quest to Teach and Love Built Life and others in your network to learn how we can grow together, reinforce, create a culture of learning, and stay connected with Learning and Development Conference. There will continue to be affordable workshops, opportunities to network and connect. Make sure that you connect and follow each other using these social media tools and social media platforms, because your lives will be blessed, because the knowledge that you gain, you should be sharing that knowledge with others. So this is William Jackson from MetaverseWP. Please check out our website, MetaverseWP.com // destination to see our current clients, to see our past clients and our future clients as we build metaverse spaces. If you're interested in a metaverse space, please reach out to us at metaversewp@gmail.com so we can have a conversation about building a culturally relevant metaverse site for your school, community group, your ministry, or organization. God bless. Take care.